Remember when they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube in P Diddy's houses? Well, I haven't forgotten, and neither have the authorities. We're reviewing the case against him and what we might see when his trial starts. This is Scandal by Law and Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie. 1,000 bottles. Yes, really. This made big news, and honestly, for good reason. It's been a while since this came out, but it still shocks me. I even checked Target for prices. Baby oil is $6.99 and lube is $11.69. So if there were 500 of each, that's about $9,340. Close to $10,000 just in oil and lube. And that's not all. Agents also found digital files, drugs, AR-15s with scratched-off serial numbers, ammo, and more. We'll talk about all of that. But first, keep in mind, P. Diddy hasn't been found guilty. He denies everything and has pleaded not guilty. The reason we're discussing this now is because the trial is about to begin. Jury selection starts May 5th, and opening arguments are set for May 12th. That's when prosecutors will begin presenting their case. All of this began in March 2024 when federal agents searched 2 of Diddy's homes, one in Miami and one in California. Back then, it wasn't clear what they took, but by September 2024, when Diddy was officially charged, more details came out. He's facing charges like racketeering, sex trafficking through force or lies, and transporting people for prostitution. Again, he says he's not guilty. But the original charges, the first set before more were added, mentioned those bottles and digital files. This goes back to the freak-offs named in the earlier civil cases. Cassie, who filed a lawsuit first, brought up the term freak-offs. Others like Lil Rod mentioned it too. The feds describe these as staged sexual events that Diddy set up, watched, and recorded. They say drugs were used to keep people obedient, and often, people were recorded without knowing it. Some of the videos were allegedly used to blackmail them into staying quiet. For fluids were reportedly used afterward to help people recover. The indictment says Diddy's staff helped plan these events, booking rooms, arranging rides, getting supplies like lube, oil, drugs, lighting, cash, and cleaning up afterward. In March 2024, agents say they found more than 1,000 bottles of oil and lube, plus drugs. The feds call Diddy's group the Combs Enterprise. They say it was involved in sex trafficking, forced labor, drug crimes, and more. Also, they allegedly had weapons and sometimes used them to scare victims. During the March 2024 searches, officers found several AR-15s with no serial numbers and a drum magazine, which holds lots of bullets. I had to ask what that was. It holds 50 to 100 rounds and looks like a drum. This is just what's been shared publicly. There could be more shown in court. Let's now bring in our guest, Tracy Welder, a former FBI and CIA agent. Thanks for joining us, Tracy. I wanted your thoughts on those searches and why Diddy wasn't arrested right away. A lot of people ask that. The agents clearly had enough evidence for a search warrant, so why no arrest? I think the key was the digital evidence. Yes, the oil and lube made headlines, but I think what matters most is what's on the hard drives. That's why you saw damaged walls and torn furniture. They were looking for hidden storage devices. That kind of evidence takes months to go through, which is probably why it took about 6 months before charges were filed. That might seem long to the public, but 6 months is fast, considering they're reviewing 20 to 25 years of content, possibly including VHS tapes, DVDs, and digital files. They also need to identify people in phone calls or videos, which requires even more warrants. Based on the charges, I think they found video evidence of the freak-offs, and also maybe proof of witness intimidation. That may be why Diddy didn't get bail. There were concerns he might threaten witnesses or destroy proof. Prosecutors say he used these videos as threats to stop victims from speaking out. If jurors see any of these videos, it's likely they'll be shown in private. Victims' faces would be blurred, and only the jury, lawyers, and judge would watch. Diddy's face would not be blurred if he's in the video. These cases are emotionally heavy, and showing them in open court would be too traumatic for victims. About the agents, yes, they will likely testify. We saw that in trials like Murdoch's and even O.J. Simpson's. Diddy's lawyers are strong, and they'll probably question how the evidence was collected and stored. But agents from the FBI's evidence team will likely be called to explain what they did. People ask what it must have been like seeing that room full of bottles. For someone like me who's seen awful things through FBI and CIA work, the shock isn't as strong. Honestly, 1,000 bottles of lube is weird, but not illegal. It's disturbing, but won't alone lead to conviction. What really matters is what that lube was allegedly used for, non-consensual acts or trafficking. That's where the digital proof helps. The drugs matter too, not just having them, but giving them to people against their will. That's a serious crime and could lead to more charges. They probably have digital conversations showing who bought the drugs and who was supposed to use them. That's likely how investigators got people in other cases like Matthew Perry's. As for the guns, federal law doesn't allow serial numbers to be removed. That alone can bring charges. Prosecutors also believe weapons were used to threaten victims, and that's why bail was denied. This case isn't just about one event, it's allegedly a pattern going back years. Now, with the trial starting soon, prosecutors and agents are likely working closely. Even if the FBI thinks their evidence is clear, prosecutors want to build a bulletproof case. That means going back and asking for clearer explanations or more details. Prosecutors are known for being super thorough. Diddy has strong defense lawyers too, so we'll see a big battle. In the end, I think jury selection will be tough because of all the media coverage, but I believe the prosecution's evidence is strong. Especially the RICO charges, they carry long sentences. With everything we've heard so far, I expect a guilty verdict. We'll all be watching. Thanks, Tracy Welder, for your insights. I'm Sierra Gillespie. Keep watching